On WhatsApp, you can get in touch with us. The WhatsApp number is 055 1111997. 055 1111997. That's the WhatsApp number. Let us know the players that have been relegated to the championship. Which of them should stay? Which one should leave? What's your reason for that? Mauricio Pochettino to Chelsea. What are your expectations? The Black Stars squad against Madagascar, of course, is also up for discussion. So there's quite a lot on the menu today, Europa League and what have you. So we're going to try and go around the table. If you're listening to us on Twitter Spaces today, I'm going to open the phone lines a little later on the show so that you can get to contribute to the conversation that we'll be having here on all of the things. Remember, this is Game Plan, of course. The unexpected always happens here, so don't touch that dial as we are running all the way from now till 2:50 p.m. Let me put the microphone on for the rest of the other guys that's in the studio. There's a bit of a... This is interesting. Guys, welcome to the show. How are you? Riri!
When I walked in, I saw Sheikh Al-Thani.
Don't worry, we will get there. I started with
I'm
Riri.
sitting
Bad
by
man.
my class future owner. I'm sitting by my class future owner.
Sheikh
I'm feeling
Al-Thani.
good.
By the way,
but I
Sicho.
think yesterday or something,
Yeah?
the Manchester United fan base of Ghana.
Yes.
I'm not sure how the name is framed, but Man United
Man
fans in
UFC Ghana.
Man UFC Ghana had a press launch or something.
At Honeysuckle.
So I'm thinking
They
that.
invite me. I didn't go.
So they invited Sheikh.
Ah!
That's why Sheikh is in town because Man U are gathering.
Al-Thani.
Sheikh Al-Thani is in town
Sheikh Al-Thani.
because a section of his fan base were having a gathering.
Nice one.
So he's honored it.
Guys,
Yeah, man.
Sitsofe
this one
Philip
is Sheikh
Atsrim.
Al-Sal. Oh.
It's okay now. Sitsofe Philip Atsrim,
Yeah.
Daniel Koranteng, Muftawu Nabila, all three of them regulars. And today we've been joined by Sheikh Al-Thani, Mubarak, Faisal Chibsah. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's definitely not me. Wrong shake. That's the wrong shake, man.
I mean, where's Lawrence?
How
When
about
Lawrence
the
puts
defendant?
when Lawrence puts the picture on the internet, I think the people will judge whether or not you are Man United's new owner. See, the thing is, from now on, everybody on this show, for the purposes of this show, will refer to you as owner. owner.
Gameplan.
I know. Man United, Sheikh Al- You forgot one thing, no?
Uh-huh.
Your thing, your baby.
Which baby?
Bush Resource Centers. They claim they didn't have money.
That's right. Muftawu Nabila has been on RTI. He's our RTI officer in this building. Right to information officer. But Faisal, let me welcome you to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Congratulations on your marriage.
He's not told you
Ah,
officially.
relax.
Okay.
Relax.
So,
He's not met you since.
yeah.
Did he say just married? Pe?
I just had it.
He's now Papa Fentuo.
Okay. Breaking news on Game Plan.
Ask him.
Okay.
Ask him. Ask him.
Are we allowed to say it too or not?
on your marriage?
Thank you. That's where Faisal is. This guy, he's always offbeat. Faisal is congratulating me on my marriage.
No rhythm. This guy.
Shock.
No rhythm.
Off the chat.
Why are you
over the
off
bar.
the chat?
20th January. Come
Yes.
on, we cannot.
The wedding,
Allow-
huh?
Come on.
Allow him.
What if you get married in last year and I've not seen you the whole time and I meet
It's
you
only
today?
appropriate.
Yeah.
So Faisal.
No, Faisal, please follow up. Let's be follow up question.
Faisal.
I'll get the update after
Yeah,
Game Plan.
Faisal.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you very much. But you're a very busy man, obviously. So for those of you who don't know Faisal Chibsah is a FIFA performance analyst. Okay, he's been working closely with Arsene Wenger.
Hard guy.
Yeah. On helping FAs around the continent on the identification of talent and putting structures in place.
He's been working with who?
Arsene Wenger.
Oh, I like
He
that.
works.
You better respect. Okay? If you say anything against us now,
Fentuo, don't proceed. Don't proceed.
Yeah. He's
I recall when he was sharing the story of having breakfast with Arsene Wenger
yeah.
that very day. And Arsene was talking to him about how we learn every single day. Maybe he will be the perfect person to tell us that. So if you're working closely with Arsene Wenger and even having breakfast with him, hey,
Yeah,
let's
it's
take
great.
a picture. I want to take a picture.
Gary Al-Smith will join us along the way. But Faisal, it's not a personality interview, but just so that we can establish something. What exactly do you do at FIFA? And how closely do you work with Arsene Wenger? I don't want to hear it from Muftawu Nabila. I don't believe that guy.
Well, Muftawu knows a lot because
You told him
that interview.
Yes,
Yeah.
and since you are here, I'm not taking it from him.
But I'll sum it up briefly about what I do and
Yeah.
how we are impacting talent development in Africa. So
Okay.
when Arsene joined FIFA, this is everybody knew FIFA. FIFA was just into organizing competitions.
Yes.
It was not in the space of talent identification and development. But when Arsene joined, he brought up this vision of trying to help our member associations to increase global competitiveness, especially the World Cup and the Youth World Cup. So then we started with an ecosystem analysis to get a clear picture of why teams are doing so well, the top 20, and why the rest of the world are not doing so well. So after the analysis, we came up with some key findings and key recommendations, and we started this talent development scheme program to assist federations that are really not maximizing their potential and using their resources to start thinking about long-term planning and strategic planning and really high performance, where to use your resources so you can maximize the potential. So we have a few specialists here in Africa. We have some in UEFA, CONMEBOL, AFC, Oceania, all around, 15 of us.
Okay.
So I'm one of 3 on the continent here in Africa that are working directly with our member associations on long-term planning, but really how to establish a high-performance environment to maximize the potential in every country.
And your office, you are directly supervised by Arsene Wenger.
Yes, this is Arsene's vision, and we are just helping them implement it. But yes, so Arsene is our boss.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure curious minds are listening as well. If you're wondering, is Faisal Chibsah is related to the more famous Chibsah?
Come on, don't say it.
He's been trending of late.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Well, we have
You're going to drag me into it.
Because of you.
I know.
We had a conversation. In fact,
Anyway,
You are the reason why the other Chibsah is
when I spoke
trending.
to him too, he was also trending.
So
This guy.
you didn't make people the trend.
so
No more interviews for this guy. No more.
he's blowing his own horn.
Yeah, I have to. I am proud of
Agama Lisa.
myself.
Muftawu, Bobby!
If you're out there and Muftawu asks for interview,
Don't
don't
do
do
it.
No. You just want to end my career. No. You can't do that.
Anyway, so Faisal is the younger brother of Yusuf Chibsah, Black Meteors captain, Kotoko legend, Ghana football legend, now PFAG big boss, basically. Faisal, we'll come to you. We'll talk about the Black Stars because you have a lot of interest there. You monitor the players. You do work for Afro Starts, you and Sitsofe, of course. So you know an awful lot about these players, what their performance indicators are, and all of those things. And that's where I want us to begin. Muftawu has been doing some work on the Bush Resource Centers or the Youth Resource Centers, a story that we followed very closely here at Joy Sports. But let's start with the Black Stars. A squad is out, 24 players is what Chris Hughton has put out for that game against Madagascar on June 18. Lawrence Atizigi, Joseph Wallacott, Abdul Manaf Nuruddin in goal. Defenders, Dennis Odwe, Ali Dusedu makes a return. Gideon Mensah, Patrick Pozo, Daniel Amate, Joseph Edu, Jiku, Nicolas Opoku make the defenders. The midfielders are Thomas Partey, Mohamed Kudus, Majid Ashmeru, Salis Abdul Samed, and Edmond Ado. The wingers are Joseph Pencil, Osman Bukari, Kamaldin Sulemana, and Enes Nyoma is giving his first call-up. And in attack, Jordan Ayew, Andre Ayew, Inaki Williams, and Kwesi Ochiro-Wright. Sitsofe, was there any real surprises here? Because this seems to me like a pretty straightforward squad, really.
Yeah, I don't think there were any surprises. It's been very consistent.
Yeah.
It's very much the core of the players that went to the World Cup, the very core of the players that Chris called for his first time for those 2 qualifiers. And it's going back to the same thing. When you think about the players who are missing, it's down to injury. Mohamed Salah, so the last time he was called, he didn't even kick a ball.
Yeah.
He's since not played for Southampton as well, so perhaps he's injured. Barbara Man as well, we know post the World Cup hasn't played much because of injury. Kamal Sowa at his club hasn't done great, and he also had his injury worries.
Hasn't played since the last
hasn't
call-up.
played since the last call-up as well. So
Yeah.
the players that are not here are players that have not played enough or are injured. and he's found a replacement for them. And one thing I like about those who have come in to replace, even if you think about NX Nyama, is that it's maybe just the another option that you need for those who are missing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to give him the opportunity to be in and around the Black Stars. He's one of those players that, whether we like it or not, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's part of the future of the Stars. If he keeps progressing the way he's progressing, so exposing him to some of these opportunities wouldn't be out of place if the more settled players at this level are not around. So I think there are no real surprises. It's a continuation of what he started, and I think, yeah, he knows what he wants, and he's just picked the right team. Since Chris Hughton came to pick this job, when he's dropped that list for the Black Star players, there are no debates.
There are very little conversation, really.
There are no debates. Like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, CK's time, Kwesi Appiah's time,
What are you saying?
Avram's time. No, yeah, it's a fact. Ghanaians know this, and they've been debating it. Avram's time.
Even
Otto.
Avram's time wasn't as controversial. In fact, he was accused of being too boring and too reliable on a certain group
No,
of
but
players.
the thing with Avram was that because it was very, it's almost like it was a template call.
Yeah, exactly.
There would be players who, between the latest call up and the more recent one, would have excelled, and we were expected to see them.
So there was consistency.
He won't pick them anyway. It doesn't matter how well you play, he won't pick you. So that was there. But this guy, if you sign, he won't call you.
Are you saying if we go through this list, there are no players who shine for inside?
No. It's if some players but there are no players who are playing better than them.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We can have this conversation.
We can. Yes. Let's have it.
The centre backs.
Yes. Go on.
There are people that are concerned that Amati is in the squad.
Why don't you want Amate in there?
Since the last call up,
Who should play?
not who should play,
Who should
be
he call?
called up.
Yes. Who should be called up to replace him?
But it's not
There-
like just
hold
holding
on.
up.
Oh,
It's about
no.
who should play.
I like the angle.
No, hold on.
Yes,
no,
go.
I'm talking about players who deserve a shout, or players who perhaps have had more minutes and perhaps deserve a shout. A big one is Abdul Mumin.
Thank you very much. So you mentioned Daniel Amate,
Yes,
one of Ghana's captains.
yes,
For Abdul Mumin,
yes.
it's impossible. It doesn't work anywhere. And that is why I like Chris Hughton. He knows what he's doing. When you call up a team, a national team, you need your leaders there. Whether they will play or not, they have to be there. At times. Unless the leader is bad, his game is done, he can't play, he can't do anything. But you need people you can trust. And the man trusts Danny. He's one of his leaders. And in this, not Daniel Koranteng.
No, no, you.
Daniel Amate.
Sitting and I will go way back. Yes, if you are referring to me, I will not be surprised.
Okay, all right. So I like. You see, if Abdul Mumin is up and coming, I mean, he'll have his opportunity. I think so. It was between him and another youngster who has had 12 caps, 10 caps, and that youngster hasn't played much, is injured and everything. And you're choosing that youngster ahead of Mumin. Then there's the place for that. But when you have a more experienced and a more settled player in the national team like Daniel Amate, I'm not having Mumin ahead of him. Nah. But England, your coach has called Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire hasn't played. But he's there because the coach trusts him. He's dependable. And so there is that. That's
Is
why,
Amate dependable?
Of course.
for Ghana Black Stars.
I quite remember us sitting here
No, I've said it before.
and saying that he was one of Ghana's poorest players at the World Cup.
It is true.
I wasn't part.
But the whole
No,
team was poor. In
The whole team was. But the point is, but you can look at Daniel Amate and pick out all his mistakes. But you can do something for every other player. I'm not a very big fan of Daniel Amate. I must say.
He's
But
played
I'm-
one game
but I'm
since the
speaking-
last call up.
Yes, I'm speaking in the context of the national team. Abdul Mumin, can you guarantee what he will do in this national team?
Not even see him.
Does the coach really know what he can get from Abdul Mumin? He knows what
Isn't
to get
that
from.
the same question that can be asked of every debutant?
Yes. So when I'm saying,
what's the issue
So when
now?
you pick Amate, so you see the difference is this: if you pick a new player or a player who's very new to the side, he's played only about 5 games for the Black Stars. He hasn't played much for his club, and you are picking a classic example would be maybe Kamal So, even if he was fit, and Nyama. If you tell me we can drop Kamal So and bring Nyama, I would nod my head and say, give it a shout. Try Nyama. Kamal So hasn't played much for his side. We've not seen him enough in the Black Stars. It's a fair shout.
Not
But-
seen him ever.
Well, for the Black Stars, we've not seen him. Yes, but he's been
He's
around
been
the
with
team
the team,
and-
and the team has played 5 games.
under two different managers.
He's played 18 minutes.
Under two different managers.
enough.
They don't pick him.
Yeah.
Under two different managers, they don't pick
He's
him.
actually yet to make his competitive debut.
So if you tell me that let's drop him and play Nyama or bring in Nyama, I won't argue. Because Kamal Sowa doesn't have enough with the Black Stars for us to depend on. Amate is a different profile when it comes to the Black Stars.
So
He's-
yeah, so
he's one of the leaders.
I get it, but
Yeah.
you see that the danger with that kind of argument is that going forward, we would always say for players who have credit in the bank, let's always depend on that and give them a place in the team.
So there's a limit.
Because-
There's a limit to it.
What is the limit?
Amate-
At what
Amate-
point? No, at
no,
what
wait.
point do you say?
Wait.
Do you say no? At what point do you say the experience is no longer enough? Minutes are what's more important.
But the truth of the matter is that Nicolas Opoku, Edu, who else? Dada
Juku.
Sintaba, Juku. They are not miles better than Amati. That's the truth. Ghana is not blessed with plenty centre backs who are playing at the high level. That's the truth. So it's you're also comparing what is in your pool and what you consider not good enough. Amati might not be good enough, but at what level? At the Black Stars level with what you have, he's good enough. Don't compare Amati to what Brazil have or what Cameroon have got or what Nigeria have got.
So at
Compare
what
him to what you have. So if
At
you
what
don't,
point? Okay, so
so
at
no,
what
hang
point?
on, hang on.
At what
Wait,
point?
just 1 second. If you
Okay.
told me
Uh-huh.
that drop Nicolas Opoku and play and bring in Mumin, I would say I'll consider it. Not Amati.
At all.
No,
You see, there's a difference, though.
Looking at
Alright,
the fact
so-
that
so-
you are
so,
going
okay,
for a crucial qualifier.
Yes.
And you need the players with the heads to be
You
able
won't
to
train
compete.
players for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
No problem. No problem. Faisal,
Yeah.
what's your take on this? Because I think, and ultimately, this is not a personal position. It is just an argument that there are players who are working their butts off every single week in, week out, while another player is resting on the bench. Okay, and at the end of, and for all of those players that are playing, the expectation is that my minutes and my efforts and my performances should give me an opportunity with the national team. At what point do you say, okay, you've done enough, coming, and the one that's not really played a lot, experience is no longer enough in this situation? How do you find that balance for me?
No, I think it's two things for me. One, the profile of the player.
Okay.
Okay, based on how Chris Hughton wants to play, I think comes first. And also, we have to look at it in context. You can't compare Premier League to,
La Liga?
yeah. For me,
How so?
is Moment good enough to sit on a bench at Leicester? Ask yourself that
For a
question.
relegated team, I would
No,
give
no,
it a shout.
let's not put let's not bring
Well,
relegation
no,
in
it's
here,
a
but-
poor team. That's why they got relegated.
Yeah. But again, if we are going for the competitiveness of the league and also consistency wise, I mean, to pick a matter of a Moment, I think there's no debate there at all. Yes, he's not been playing well. He's not been playing enough at Leicester, but I think when it comes to the Black Stars, he's one of our best defenders here, and I don't see any debate here at all, in my opinion. And for me, I think it's more about the profile of the players than anything else.
Okay.
You know, we've seen it in France. Giroud at some point was not even competing in the Premier League, but when he goes to France, he's the top guy and he's scoring. It's
You know,
a good
because
example.
I feel
Not even going
like
too far.
that
Our very
I
own
have
Black
been
Stars.
in the
We
I have,
had Richard Ole
I have been in the
John Mensah, John Boy, Jonathan Mensah, who were all core and at the heart of the Black Stars, despite playing limited minutes for their various clubs. They've always been the players who we rely on.
So here's the
Yeah.
question: how has that served the national team?
That has served the national team in many ways. When we went to the 2010 FIFA World Cup, can you tell me the number of minutes John Mensah played prior to that tournament? He was the skipper. He was at the heart of that national team. We made it all the way to the quarterfinal of that tournament. In 2012,
Okay, hold on.
In 2012,
No.
when we went to Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, that was when John Boy came into the picture. And even at that time, John Mensah was still not active for his club. In fact, there were concerns about his fitness.
Granted.
He came in there.
Okay.
He was the man who masterminded that back line and took Ghana to the semi-final of that tournament. So
Granted. No, hold on. Yeah, I like the point you made. Granted, under the same manager for the 2010 World Cup,
yeah.
he dropped a very experienced player in Lai Kinsing and brought in Samuel Inkum. Took him to the tournament. Where's the consistency there?
Different profile.
No, that's even two separate things. When he took Samuel Inkum to the World Cup, he took Samuel Inkum because Samuel Inkum could play both at a right back, which could be a cover up for John Pencil, who was the right back, and also as a wing back for the national team, where Lai Kinston, maybe on the flank,
Could not be
If
a
you're
where-
a
right
winger,
fullback,
proper
yeah.
winger
or
at
if
the
you
time.
proper winger, where Lai Kinston was going to play. The experience, in as much as we appreciate the experience, even if you speak to Lai Kinston himself, I remember that conversation I had with Lai Kinston, where though he had issues that he was dropped, but the explanation that was offered by even officials of the national team, Lai Kinston though he did not appreciate it, he understood where Rajvak was coming from.
Okay, so Daniel, isn't this emotional attachment to experience kind of limiting perhaps the ability to see where the other talents are? At what point do we say, this is experience, it's a leader, but it just won't cut it?
For me, when it comes to national team collapse, I place premium on what you've done for the national team before what you've done for your club. And I think that's how the managers think. When Amate starts slacking for Ghana, I think that is when they'll cut it. But as long as when he comes in, he does the job, I don't think they are going to change him. And you see, we also have to understand that the metrics you attach to club football is totally different from what happens to national team football. The head coaches or managers don't have the time to be able to properly instill their philosophies. So it takes a group of people who have been with that system, who understand it already, who are experienced enough to quickly take instruction and apply it. You don't have the luxury of time to go out and pick the best talents, little experience, come and now teach them how to apply the instructions that you give them. So it's two completely different things. And I totally agree with Sicho. It depends on the profile of the player you're talking about. If it was somebody else, if it was somebody who was somebody like Joseph Edu, yes, he is good for his club side. We've not necessarily seen him a lot with the Black Stars. If he is competing with somebody like Abdul Mumin, then we can have a debate. But Amate, you can't go there with Amate. You just can't. He is such a pillar in this Black Stars. Forget what has happened with Leicester City. He is a pillar with the Black Stars. And you see, there are so many examples of these things. And it's not just Ghana. It applies in all national teams. Many, many, many examples wherever you go. And when you watch the players' performances for their national teams, they always perform, almost always perform. And that is fact. No head coach will sit down there and say, because Amate hasn't played for Leicester City, I'm going to drop him for such a crucial qualifier and pick somebody else who is doing well for his club side but doesn't have the experience in the national team side. So I don't think it's a debate at all. There are some players in certain national teams that you just can't touch. Once they are fit, once their track record for your national team is good, you always call them. And it's just as simple as that.
Andre Ayew is one of those, obviously.
Yes, and Andre Ayew's credit to run out when he starts being redundant for the Black Stars, not his national team. Remember, Asamoah Gyan wasn't playing in the biggest leagues in the world.
He was
for a very long time.
For a very long time. But we're judging him on what he was doing for Ghana, not what he was doing in the Gulf. It was delivering. There were strikers in Ghana who were playing in some better leagues than him, who were scoring goals, but never got a place ahead.
And
of
even
him.
on Dede, Danny, even on Dede, if he's able to accept his level and play his new part well, which could be a bit part player, this guy can be the national team for the next 3 years.
Easily.
If he wants to force himself to be starting games and
I'm trying to remember something here. Which one? When was the last time? Let's say, what was the last really good game of Andre Ayew in the Black Stars from what you remember?
Ghana versus South Africa, the World Cup qualifier.
No, not even good. The Ghana versus Gabon.
Yeah, the AFCON.
Guy, how do you forget? Yeah, we drew. We didn't qualify past the group stage. But that game, the day was on fire. He was fighting.
Was he?
No, the red card. It was the Commons game that he got the red card.
He got the red card.
But the Gabon game, the day was
He
good.
scored a brilliant goal.
Yeah, AFCON.
Yeah.
As the goal aside,
Even the first game against Morocco,
even
the assignment he was given.
he actually won a penalty, but the Ghanaians didn't. Their gamesmanship was poor. They didn't put even pressure on the referee.
Okay.
At the very last second before the first half, that was a penalty for Ghana. That foul on Dede was a penalty for Ghana. In that game, Dede was winning all the area duels against Morocco, who from that game scored in with set pieces throughout. Dede was batting balls away. But you see, we remember because Dede didn't score in that game. We remember because generally the team was poor. So the individual things that he did, nobody remember. Like I'm saying, Dede is not good enough with his leg and his age to maybe play 70 minutes. But if he can accept his role as the leader and take the 10 minutes, the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, be an impact when it's needed. This guy can play like 3 years.
You make him general captain.
Not general captain. He's a captain. But you have to, you see, if he's not going to give the coach problems when he's sitting on the bench, it's not causing problems in the camp that he's not playing many minutes, then they can be around the team for a very long time. Because but if you're playing against a team and you need another goal, and you throw on the day.
Yeah,
You know you get a balam goal.
The last 10 minutes,
Bro.
either a free kick or a set piece for him.
So
to
somebody
lobby for
so
you.
nobody can tell me that why did they playing and there's a young player who hasn't played, who is playing for his club and he's not in it. No, the day is a different kind of fish, and I think that Ghanaians need to start appreciating some of our stars and begin to understand at what level we place what conversation on who. Like I said, if it is Nicolas Opoku and Abdul Mumin, we can have that discussion. I can say, well, give Abdul Mumin the chance over Nicolas Opoku, not Amate. No, if it is Nyama and Fatal Shawaku, we can say, oh yeah, bring Nyama, drop Fatal. We can have that discussion. But you can't tell me to drop Jordan and bring the guy
Nyama
Karim was saying was scoring plenty. Because that guy is on. No, bro. No.
Very interesting thoughts on the Black Stars. They play on June 18 in Madagascar, Antananarivo. That's where that game will be. If Ghana win, they will qualify to the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire next January. So the AFCON is only 6 months away. It's unbelievably close. The next Africa Cup of Nations. The Black Stars also have scheduled a friendly game against the United States of America on October 17, I believe. And that game will be played in Nashville. Nashville, the official
Music City.
yes, and I was thinking something else. So bachelorette party city in the United States. Yeah.
Now you're going too far, my guy.
What's it about?
Anyway, so it's what it is. October 17, friendly game against the USA. It should be exciting as well. A couple of other updates before we move into our next subject. So I don't know where you stand now on this. The 3 of our players have been relegated. Andre Ayew has been released. So I just want to run around the table and see what the guys think about that. Kamaldeen Suleiman has gone down with Southampton alongside Salisu. Andre has been released at the end of the season. His contract has expired. He joined in January. And then, obviously, Amate was on the table earlier. He's also been relegated with Leicester City. He's out of contract at the end of June. So what does he do next? Quick one. Faisal. Kamaldeen, stay or leave?
Easy. Again,
Stay?
Yeah, stay for me. I think he's going to get... This is an opportunity for him to play. Again, came in. I don't think we saw much. Struggled. Okay, if he's being fair to himself. Championship, he was going to learn a lot. The Premier League, it's a totally different animal. And him coming in now and couldn't really establish himself, here's an opportunity now for him to play in the Championship. And if he does that, I think that will prepare him. Should Southampton come back into the Premier League, he will be much, much ready. Stay for me. Salisu,
stay or leave?
It's a very tricky one. Rolls Royce of a defender, I call him. Probably leave. I think he's good enough to remain in the Premier League. He's good enough to join some of the incoming teams or even some of the established teams already. Not quite sure what the situation is, whether it's injury or not, but I think he should leave.
And Mate? He's out of contract, obviously.
Yeah.
But his agent has said that he owns the negotiation power, which means that he can opt to stay with Leicester if he wants. But he's not started that conversation. Before June 31, what does he do? What must he do?
If an offer comes, I would say consider, but I wouldn't push for him to leave. So it's either or for me.
That's 3 more Ghanaian players in England's lower division. Adding to the numbers there.
A very competitive division.
Sichu, run the rule on those 4 players for me, or 3 players for me.
I'll start with the captain, Capito.
Yes, Andre Ayew.
I never understood that January thing. Because when I look at the way he's playing, his body, he's not young anymore. I thought the Qatari league was just perfect for him. Keep fitness, keep sharpness. And he was doing pretty well. He was scoring goals and he was delivering. So I never really understood the cancelling the contract and moving to Nottingham.
His friend called him.
The daddy called him. Yeah.
Cooper is his daddy.
Daddy Cooper.
Steve Cooper needed him.
Oh, Cooper.
He gave him a call.
Yeah, because I never really understood it.
Cooper called you and released you.
Yeah, because I've always thought they did.
Oh, you have to prove yourself, huh?
Yeah, he has to prove himself. I mean, because the Johnsons, the Awoni, Gibbs White, the guys are fast. They are rapid. Even Lingard is not getting into the squad when he came. Was
He has
playing
been
was
released.
you know. So
He's not serious.
I just didn't. Yeah, I just didn't really. I don't know if. Captain,
So what next for him now? Go back to Qatar?
I think probably. Algeria have got a very good squad. They have big striker Baghdad Abuna just playing in the
True,
Saints.
true.
And he's been called up for Algeria. It's that is Ghanaian. And let's face it, he's not playing a national team that is blessed with so many attackers in his area where he's going to be concerned that if he's playing in Qatar, the boys in Europe will take his place.
Isn't that the irony? Like you said, I feel like that's probably one of the reasons that forced him to make such a move, because he wasn't out of contract.
Yeah.
He had to
There was
cancel.
a mutual, yes. And credit to the club, they actually outside, they respected. And so I never really, I don't know if they miscalculated it because, listen, he didn't play in Nottingham. He was never the go-to
Maybe he
man.
wanted to prove that he could still play at the
Well,
top level.
He has to be honest with his body and himself.
yeah.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have that anymore. They can't play at that level anymore.
And it's evident from his 5 months there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It clearly is. And even with the national team, when he's tried to stay on for too long, you can quite clearly see that the age is showing on him.
So for you, go back to the golf.
Yeah.
Saudi.
Yes, Saudi is big.
Yeah.
Saudi is big. I think
Soon
so.
he will be the fifth.
Player in the
No, the fifth toughest league.
you seen it there. You seen it there.
So yeah. So I never really understood
Soon
it.
he will be the fifth biggest
yeah.
league in the
It's
world.
where Cristiano Ronaldo says he's staying there.
Yes, and he says very soon
Very soon.
it will be the fifth biggest league in the world.
Soon. but I think I agree with Faisal. Yeah.
On
The young
Kamaldeen.
man Kamaldeen has
Yeah.
to stay.
Okay.
He has to settle. He's not really settled, has he? I mean, he went to France, started well, had his injury problem. This season he hasn't played. Then he bounces off to England to a team that is struggling. So I think moving again to a team that doesn't necessarily guarantee him consistency of game time is a problem. And at this age, it's crucial. You know, when you're 29, 30 and you've played a lot and you have an experience, there's a way you can manage your game. But when you're still learning the craft, when you're still developing your game, because let's face it, he's still a very raw talent that needs polishing. And the only way he gets that is in a team that is settled, where he can play, make all the mistakes. And we've seen several players who have gone down the lower division, have come back even playing way better. So we saw Messi Mount of Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to Derby, he played well. I've seen Amad Diallo, he's played well for Sunderland. He can also continue. So yeah, I think he should
Achu?
stay. Christian Atu, so I think he should stay. And as for Salisu, I think you have a market. I think you have a market in the Premier League. If it's a mid-table, and even some of the big clubs, see, they are big in name, but the players who are playing the position that Salisu plays, they are not by far better than Salisu when Salisu said it's right and it's fit. I don't think a player like, even when you go to Spurs do not have centre-backs. Clement Longley, Ben Davies, on that left-hand side of defense.
better than
Left-footed centre back.
Yes, it's crucial. Even in Arsenal, I'm not sure Gabriel Magalhaes is miles ahead of.
Okay, now you're getting ahead of yourself now, okay?
Honestly, I'm sure. He's playing a very settled team
just like
in a very good system. But I think Gabriel is always a mistake waiting to happen, and he needs a leader by him to make him look good. We saw him when your man Saliba was injured. He was almost naked throughout the rest of the season.
But that's how that position works. In the
No
centre back
cross.
position, there has to be a complement. One or the other. You can't just pick one without complementing the other.
It's more
It's
not-
like an
it-
axis.
It's more not-
Yeah, you can't pick one without the other.
Agreed.
And
But it's-
Faisal's point right now also fits into Dani Amate. You don't just go and pick two informed centre backs and say play.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm-
Well,
I'm-
relationship.
I'm looking at the personality.
But hold on,
Actually,
no, Daniel, with that one.
No, it's
you
very
did,
important.
But you did exactly that at the World Cup. They brought Salisu from nowhere. He slotted in, was the best player.
Yes, Salisu is a generational talent.
That's what the point
No,
is
but I'm just
making.
saying,
He's
I'm
a
saying
generational
that
talent.
Salisu, I don't think Gabriel is a leader. I find Salisu who has a lot more of that in him.
What do you mean, not the leader, in terms of
The
what?
leader at the back, he can organize the back, organize others,
Sure.
put them through. I don't think Gabriel has got that. And that is why when Saliba was not there, you could see Zinchenko, who was on the left-hand side more, sometimes inverting.
But let's also be a little bit factual here.
Yeah.
The replacement was bad.
It really was. Hey, Holding.
It was
I mean,
bad.
yeah,
Holding was bad.
yeah.
So
That's
come on.
true.
Replacement
So yeah,
was-
but I'm saying that even in a club like Arsenal, they could have a club
So
like
you're saying that
Spurs.
Salisu should leave,
I think Salisu should leave.
and if he does,
Yeah.
he has the capacity to play for a top club.
in La Liga,
That I agree.
in La
That I
Liga,
agree.
in Premier League,
Yes.
he would have in Bundesliga.
Amate,
I think Amate is still good for the Premier League. He would get some team there. Those who are coming up,
Yeah.
those who are struggling. Cody is gone back to Wolves.
Yeah.
Everton have stayed up. Everton could do with Danny.
Yeah.
The clubs who are coming up, Luton Town, Sheffield United,
I think Yeremina too is leaving.
Burnley. Charlie, give Amate to Vincent Company.
Oh, but
I'll
he had
take
to
that.
go
I actually take that.
Yeah, no,
he's got a market
now.
Also,
He's got a
market.
also, yeah, exactly.
He's got a market in the Premier
I'll
League.
actually take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be a terrible defender and have the number of minutes Amate has had in the Premier League. It's impossible.
All right.
No, but he's not even a terrible
Uh,
defender.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm like. I'm saying if you
But-
cannot be that and have that. So yeah.
Muftawu, you agree with all of those analysis, or you have a slightly different view?
I actually agree. And in fact, to move away to a new club, the pressure that comes with moving to a new environment and trying to settle, I wouldn't suggest that Kamal then should move. For Salisu, for Amate, they should consider moving. For them,
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
And Dan?
Amate, he should leave.
Amate should leave Leicester.
He should leave.
Daniel,
Thanks.
I think is there a consensus here on all the 4 players?
There's a consensus, but we also have a part to play.
Okay.
Yes, I think we should also stop overhyping some of our players and letting it get into their heads.
Which one?
No, allow them to learn. Allow them to go through the process. Don't rush them.
Okay.
When somebody gives one sulia, then you post it all around and start making comparisons.
Player.
No, seriously, you seriously, you might think I'm joking, but we are in an age where the players see what you type. After the game, they come on social. We watched that last, so you don't see Nate.
Oh yeah.
After the game, he's watching.
Let's see it. Even
That's
No,
literally, that
the
is what
players
happens.
see it. No, they do it all the time.
They see,
They
and
check.
it gets into their heads,
They
and it
check.
also fits into how they think. So allow them to go through the process. This guy wasn't settled in France,
Yeah.
and that's one of the conversations we were having when he was coming to Southampton.
Yeah, I remember.
If you've not yet made it in France, you are struggling to break into a mid-table team in France, and you are coming to the Premier League. Now see,
In a
if
struggling
you
team.
rush it again,
That is not entirely fair.
Jai, sir,
The
he
first
was sitting
season
on the
of the
bench.
boy, he was top notch until that
Oga
injury.
Jai, let me tell you what happened. First half of the season, he was
Yes.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets injured. In fact, he came to the AFCON. No, he didn't get injured. He came to the AFCON, came back, got
Had a
injured,
bad AFCON.
didn't
But the
play
whole team
again.
was bad. So
If you were that good,
Yeah.
if you were that good, you were that trusted. When you go through the preseason period, there's a high chance that you are back.
You
in
get
the
back
team.
in, yeah.
Season started. He was on the bench until the World Cup. Straight after the World Cup, he says, "I'm
Do you,
leaving
do you
22
recall,
million
do you recall
to
prior to the
Southampton."
World Cup, Kamal Din Suleiman was injured? Do you recall?
yes,
Yeah.
he had an injury.
And he was not playing.
Yes.
That was within the season.
But when he was fit, where was he? Was he in the starting
No,
lineup?
but
Was
it's
he
not
on the bench?
entirely fair to say that he's not settled. If the
it's a fact.
if the boy
No, you
was
see,
fully fit,
It
if
is
the
a
boy
fact.
was fully
He
fit,
was
he
not
was
se-
going
he
to
did
play.
not- no, he didn't settle in
Yeah,
France.
business is also settling anyway.
He never settled in France.
Half a season is not
settled in
settled.
France.
I clearly
Muftawu,
understand.
hold on. Daniel, you finish your point. Muftawu, you can counter after that. I don't like the constant interjection. Go on.
Okay, no lie. He was sitting on the bench, whether fit or unfit. That is also not settling. Kudus's first 2 seasons in Ajax, he hadn't settled, whether fit or unfit. It's a fact. The fact that you are not playing, the fact that you are not getting minutes, clearly
And you are
shows that-
constantly getting injured.
Yes, you have not settled. Same with Kamal Dean. Then he rushes to the Premier League, and now see, £22 million.
It was
He
a dream
strugg-
move.
Yes, big move. Record deal for Southampton.
Yeah.
He's struggling to make their starting 11, and now he's in the Championship.
Actually,
and now
he was started
he started
from the
first
very
few
beginning.
games.
Exactly.
I
So-
think it was
struggled.
after the
So he
Chelsea
struggled
game.
big
So-
time.
Exactly.
yes,
No,
yes, yes.
It fits into Daniel's point.
Yeah.
They trusted him, started
Yeah.
him from the
And
very
they saw that
beginning,
Charlie,
and it didn't work out.
Yes, and that's the last Pepe team. Last Pepe team
were
in
bottom.
the Premier League. Bottom.
What's last Pepe?
Last Pepe. Yeah, the whole Premier League top last. You understand? And he still struggled to break into that team. The fact is, you see, they are levels. So don't rush them. Let them go through the process. Because this guy, the attributes he has, the skill set he has, if he's polished, he can be world class. If we don't take care and we rush him, Adama Traore, easy. Easy. You see?
Daniel,
And we'll be-
okay.
No, it's true.
Based on that, should
that
Kudus move?
No,
Okay.
I don't want Kudus to move
I agree.
because this is the first settled season he's had at Ajax since he came.
100%.
No, but he can move.
And even that,
Team, isn't it?
no, relax. Even that, let me go to the beginning of the season. Ghanaians were shouting,
Yeah,
"Hey, why
because
is
he wasn't
Kudus not
start-
playing?
exactly.
Why is Kudus not playing?"
Like,
Exactly.
At the time, I said that look, when you look at the Ajax team and you look at the skill set of the players who are playing in his position, Berghaus and Kudus, when it comes to their creative skill set, Kudus comes nowhere close. What's the boy's name?
Taylor.
Kelvin Taylor. He comes nowhere close. Where did Kudus end up playing? As a false 9.
Yeah.
Second half of the season, Heitinger comes in. Where does he start playing?
Right channel.
Right channel. So where you want to play, the thing you've profiled for yourself as a central attacking midfielder number 10,
way Ghanaians
you're not
perceive
playing there. The way the Ghanaians perceive him, he's not playing there. He played first half of the season as a false nine, second half of the season as a right winger. And you want to go where? Settle, relax. Ajax and Europa League.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with playing
But what do you
Europa
think
League.
about
So,
he's
no, here-
going to a club like maybe Borussia Dortmund for maybe 2 years?
Here's the other
afraid.
question. You talk about profiles, right? And you know, the point Daniel is making about Kudu staying and settling. If he's going to another club, he's going there as what?
Thank you. We don't know.
As a false nine? Are they looking for a false nine? Are they looking for a central midfielder? Are they looking for a right winger?
Thank you. Then you see,
The club that wants him has a defined role, and they've looked out for the profile of players they think can fit into that role before going into the market for Mohamed Kudus.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying
So
that.
it is the club that will determine where he's coming to play. And
Muftawu.
the argument
And
is
not the
that-
player
Muftawu.
himself.
No offense.
No, and not even
Offense.
the player
Muftawu,
himself.
For a
Muftawu,
young
don't make a
player
mistake.
like that, yeah.
Don't make a mistake. Not all the clubs. Are you
Before you are signed,
when
the club will
Southampton-
monitor you for some time
Yes.
before making a decision on
Not
signing
every
you.
club.
Not every club.
When Southampton were signing Kamal Suleiman, what did they think they were signing?
Oh, when they were signing Kamal,
Yes, did they get what they thought they were
I
signing?
don't know. So they've monitored you for a
Exactly.
while
He was
before
even playing
signing
as a
you.
centre
Does not
forward.
necessarily guarantee that when you come in, you produce the results they are
It's
looking
not
for.
results. Kamaldeen was at Rennes as a winger.
Yes.
When he came, his first 2 games, he was playing as in a front two with Onuachu.
Yes.
He was not playing as a
So
winger.
that was the decision
But,
of the coach.
how
So
about
that
this?
one,
Okay.
Thank you. So
How-
how,
if
that
you
one,
settle,
so that
you
one, that one, how do you blame Kamaldeen for?
I'm not blaming
No, let me-
Kamaldeen.
you said the
If
club
you've
will profile him.
settled,
Yes,
if you've settled
it's
and
a
you've
club
defined
decision.
yourself
So
in
the
a
club-
particular
the
role, it
club
helps
Okay.
you when you're
having
moving
taken
on.
a
Okay,
look at
moved out,
Kamaldeen,
moved out.
playing in the front three,
Okay.
believe that he could play behind any of their strikers. They chose to play him there. It never worked out.
Okay.
So if it did not work out, and they decide
so this is a
that now
classic
we
example.
want you,
This is a classic example. Like I'm saying, football clubs across the world almost always get it wrong with the way they profile players. And I'll give you a classic example. And even yesterday was trending on Twitter. Skamaka.
Yeah.
I'm a crazy fan of that lad when he was successful because when he strikes the ball and when he bleeds your line, he's brilliant. But especially English clubs have a feeling of thinking that everybody who is physically well built, tall, muscular, very strong, it's like he can play like Mikel Antonio. In West Ham, that is how David Moyes is using the boy, and he will. You see, West Ham have done mistake. That mistake twice
back.
with Sebastian Haller. When he was thriving in Bundesliga, he was playing with the front two alongside Jovic. They bring him in and stick him in as a one-man forward who should be running after
Yeah.
balls and bullying defenders
Typical
like Mikel
English
Antonio.
football.
You bring in Skamaka to come and do the same thing for you.
Route one.
It will not work. Skamaka is brilliant when he's holding up the ball, when it's linking up, when it's latching onto the ball, arriving into the box late. So a club can buy you and think that that's what Man United did to Paul Pogba.
Thank
That's
you.
the whole English media did to Paul Pogba. Because he's tall, he's big, he's black. The thinking is he has to tackle.
Oh,
The
he's
thinking
black
is
too,
he has
huh?
to run.
Kai Havertz.
Yeah, no.
Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz.
But
ZH.
No, even Lukaku.
Pogba, hang on. If Paul Pogba,
so
let
is
me land on this one. If Paul Pogba was treated like Odegaard, he would have excelled in England and nobody would reach his numbers.
Thank you.
If nobody complains about Odegaard not putting in defensive work because we think, oh, he's fluffy,
silky.
he's
Oh,
silky,
yeah.
He's
sexy,
he's agile.
he's Ozil.
Eh.
But if Paul Pogba does what Odegaard is doing now, we are saying that he doesn't work hard enough. Why? Because in our minds, he has to be fast, he has to be strong, he has to be quick. That is not his game.
And work like
That
a
is
horse.
Skamaka's game. Work like a horse, like Michael Essien. That was Michael Essien's game. Are you looking at? So there are English clubs who have. That is why Man City are doing what they are doing. When it comes to profiling players,
They do it jet.
when City bought Jack Grealish, they knew his first season he wouldn't play well. They were ready to wait for that.
Okay.
Pep knew he had to recoach.
Here's my
for the
last
second
question on
season.
Kudus. Players, sometimes you don't make your dream
exactly
move.
about
It could go
patience.
past you.
Yeah.
Muftawu, I'm asking a question. You're just talking.
no. So I was just
You
saying
turn
that
around,
the
you're
boys
talking
at
to
the back.
Faisal.
So I was saying
The
that
boys
it's
at the
exactly
back.
about patience. You sign the player, you need to be patient for the player to grow into your team.
But
So
Muftawu,
if you got the player,
not everyone has that patience.
Thank
So
you.
if you-
Premier
if
For a
League, they don't have
manager,
that
you're as
patience.
good as your last 3 games. The 4th game you lose, you're out.
Look, we've seen it before. Memphis
Faisal.
Depay came to
Pressure
Man
is
U. One bad
Faisal.
season.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pressure,
That's it.
the pressure
Yeah.
is massive.
No, let me get on Muftawu's side now about players to have dream moves. And sometimes you don't make that move, it might never come around. And usually, what's the saying? For every player in your entire career, you have one big move. Certainly, only very few players make multiple big moves. Every player, you have that one big move. If that move comes this summer, say to a club like Liverpool, it's just an example, but like a big move comes this summer, and he rejects it, and it doesn't happen again, what now? Then everybody will look back and say he made a big mistake. He should have moved.
Everybody, you shouldn't care about everybody. Care about you. That's the most important.
Yeah,
thing.
but even for
the
him,
timing
when I
has
say
to
a big,
be right.
yeah, but when I say a big move, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. But when the move comes and it's too early, you have to be realistic to yourself and say it's not the right time. And if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. For me, it's a big mistake a lot of these players make. The moves comes, okay, Premier League, 22 million, let's go. It really was a bad move for Kamaldeen. Really was a bad move.
But Faisal, okay, you've worked with a lot of these clubs. Then do you also think at some point it's out of the hands of these players? A player like Kamaldeen Sulemana, they bought him way less than that. They are making profits off him. The club is going to say, Kamaldeen, yeah, we think we will take the offer. Oh yeah. And like a player like Kudus, the club comes and wants to pay 60 million for him. I asked myself, say, yeah, Mo, we appreciate what you've done here. We think that we'll take it. So sometimes is it not out of their hands? The players have a lot to say.
Absolutely, it happens a lot. Especially when you come in, and then after a few games, they're like, you know what? This is not what we thought we were getting.
Yeah.
Big money comes, the club will sell. It's business. So yeah, sometimes they have to push you out because they see things are not going well. But you also have to be, I would say, tough a bit and say, look, stand your ground. I'm not ready to go. And if you're not ready to take a chance and give me that patience, then I'll just stay here and wait until the right move comes. Clubs cannot push you out. Yes, they will, and I get it. If I'm a CEO, it's business, and that's how I look at it.
But if you're under contract...
Exactly. Again, that's where, for me, who is advising that player? Also, agents. Agents are a huge part of this.
Yeah.
22 million, 10% of that? Come on. Let's do this.
We're going to have to take a break, but this guy will take us to the break. I met John Barnes 6 days ago at a Stand Chat Liverpool Football Clinic. And in our interaction, I asked him a very specific question because Liverpool were rumoured to also be interested in Kudus Mohammed, especially after his performances against them in the Champions League. So I asked him what he made of Kudus Mohammed leaving Ajax this term and possibly joining Liverpool. And this is what he told me.
You talk about him, and I give this advice to young players. I use myself as an example. And when I played, you had to show a level of consistency over a period of time before you were transferred. Because, of course, when you're transferred, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you. And unless you're able to handle that pressure, or you're able to show that you can do this for a long period of time, not just 5 or 6 matches, I advise every player to learn their trade, to be disciplined, to be humble, to stay at their club for a long period of time to show that they can do that. But football is different now anyway, so it's changed. And we see that all the time where a footballer has one good season and he gets transferred. So I know he has the potential. Apart from players now move much sooner than they possibly are ready to move, but he definitely has the potential to play at as high a level as any of the other Ghanaian players.
For 50 years?
Yes, Muftawu.
Or over 50 years, Fentuo. Duraplast, your reliable partner for quality
I love
plastic
Duraplast.
products, such as PVC and HDPE pipes of various sizes, have over the years progressed to become a leader in the plastic industry in West Africa and some parts of Central Africa. Yes, where you live matters. Where and how you store your water matters too. So how do you check the level of water in your water storage tank at home or at the workplace? Do you hit the side and listen? Boom, 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 boom. Or do you climb all the way to the top to look inside it? Just like Daniel K did the last time.
I knew.
Yes, I'll do one. I'll do one.
But I knew you mentioned my name.
I was meant to understand that Daniel K climbed water tank and fell inside. So he needs to go for.
Go on, finish.
Water tank, the ultimate tank for water storage by Duraplast Limited, comes with an optional water level indicator that lets you know exactly how much water you have in your water tank. It is not only beautiful, but it's also designed to carry accurate water volumes, accurate volumes of water. If it is 5,000 liters, it means it is 5,000 liters. And of course, it is very durable and available in various sizes. Get your water tank today from Duraplast. Water tank. What a tank. Remember, where Duraplast goes,
water flows. That's right. Daniel?
Sicho?
Oh Nana.
What's my name?
Oh Nana.
What's my name? Oh, really? Go on now.
Nah, see,
Finish the song.
there's somebody on.
Continue the song.
There's somebody. What's my name? What's my name? Maseho. See, there's somebody on the cues and lyrics who is giving me problems.
Oh,
Oh yes, because they denied me entry because I was clearly better than all of them.
yes.
The guy wants to do. His name is TM Music. He's disturbing my life.
Oh,
Last week he spoiled it.
Eh.
Oh, he spoiled it.
yeah. Last week he scored it. He scored
he
it.
scored it.
He scored it. He scored
In
it.
fact, today 5:30 on Joy Prime they'll do cues and lyrics diaries. So tune in.
Ah,
He'll be
the
on.
diary.
No, if I watch him, he'll be on. But if this week if he takes it too far, next week I'll be on.
Yeah.
Next week I'll be on.
You go
But
chop
yeah,
that.
your Sunday night just got more exciting. It's the real deal and it's official. Cues and lyrics, a music competition show that aims at unearthing music potential in contestants while providing Joy Prime's cherished viewers the ultimate entertainment. Watch the 12 budding musicians as they journey to stardom. Don't miss out on the experience every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on Joy Prime. You can get it anywhere.
That's right.
Anyway, if they stream it, they'll catch them like the people that they've just arrested. Cues and Lyrics is produced by Joy Prime and powered by Hits FM. Cues and Lyrics, bring on the music. Joy Prime, the ultimate
DK,
experience.
give me the music. Oh, Nana.
What's my name? Oh Nana.
What's my name?
Oh Nana.
What's my name?
You, before the cock crows 3 times, I'll get you. I heard you mention my name in your this one.
You fell
I'll
inside
get
water tank.
It's okay. Switch your take it
I
away.
wanted you
Right.
to do that. Oh, Nana. Then I'll do the rap. Drake.
Oh, Charlie.
Too much Drake.
Make
Right
us-
now.
make us for it.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh Nana. What's my name?
Yeah,
oh
you know, you heard
Nana.
some soft lips. You know the word of mouth. The square root of 69 is 8 something.
Right.
Here we go. The night time. Over. Here we go. The only thing we have on is the radio. Let it play. Say you wanna leave, but I know you wanna stay.
In this life, there are some
Chicho,
people
Chicho,
when you come
Chicho,
across them,
finish.
there are certain things they do. You will never hear the lyrics. They'll do.
But it's part of humming is part of the lyrics.
Come on, get out.
It's music.
You don't understand music, eh?
So
Anyway.
all the things you
sure.
said. I beg. What's the meaning of what you said? Just one. Just
Uh.
one meaning. One.
I had square root of 69, so
It's in the lyrics.
That's it. Anyway,
That's the only
bet
thing you
power
heard.
better.
I'm interested in the 69.
Bet power better.
Faisal is a bad man.
I'm going to give this. Charlie, I don't make money for you.
Please. I like
Bet power
money.
better.
That's right.
I've got to give this a try. Bet power betters. Bet it better. Come on, say it with me. Bet power betters. Bet it better. Here we go. And just like that, you are welcome to the bet power side of life.
That's right.
Welcome to
get
boosted
fired.
odds. Welcome to easy cash out. Welcome to fast payout. Welcome to amazing casino games. Welcome to the lowest stake amount of 1 Ghana pesos. 1 Ghana peso, actually. And welcome to the world of no minimum odds to qualify for 500% win bonus. Welcome to the jackpot. That gives you the chance to win 1 million Ghana cedis with just 25 Ghana pesos. Bet Power is the proud sponsor of the Bet Power Premier League. For each game won, Bet Power pays each play instantly. Bet Power betters really bet it better. Welcome to betpower.com.gh. License regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gaming can be addictive.
Thank you very much. Sitcho Fair. Your messages are welcome. 055 111197. I've got a message, a very interesting message from Godwin in North Carnegie. He says, let's stop still hyping players who have reached their end of the Black Stars careers. When was the last time Amate played for Leicester? He's always been a disaster waiting to happen, and the day the least said, the better. Someone who can't get to play even 10 minutes for Nottingham Forest. Anyways, it's Ghana, so I'm not surprised. Where are the big-time players that we have in Ghana? Just Partey and Kudus. And who else? Interesting question. Interesting. Let me take a couple more messages before we switch to our next conversation, because a lot of you haven't exactly been very impressed with some of the things that we have been talking about, especially regarding the Black Stars. I've got a message here from Roland, who says that he doesn't agree with... Okay, so here's Roland's message. He says he doesn't agree with Sitcho on saying that... Okay, let me just pull it out. I'm not sure what's happening here to my Twitter. That's where I'm trying to read that message from.
Slow.
Why are you vexing,
Yeah,
Max?
I shock save. Let me read more WhatsApp messages while I wait for my Twitter. This one says, "Good day to you. I think Kudus must do 2 seasons before moving, and I think this year is for Man City to triumph." This is Eli Atsrim to me. Yeah, he sent that particular message. All right, cool. Anyway, so here I've pulled out the Roland's message, and not just only Roland. Though. I've got a few messages here. Hey, Charlie, what's going on? Michelle, I open it on a different computer for me. My phone is disappointing.
Okay, so I have this from Wombat. He says that, and whose fault is it that the players are playing too safe? Whose game plan is that? That's
are playing what?
He's asking. One players play very safe, like the conversation, the argument we're having about profiling of players and how some clubs. You mentioned that some clubs wrongly profile players
Many English clubs
and hire them. So that's a question he's asking over there. So he doesn't understand who we should blame for this one. Who do we blame?
Yeah, just like any job, people have bad days. People make mistakes at their jobs. Nobody's 100%. You can have an expert tell you why this player will be fit for this position, but the person comes in is a different thing altogether. The player never settled. They never. Juventus signed Bentancur, Kulusevski, Di Marel, many other players who were tagged to be the next big things in Serie A. All of them have since left. It didn't work. At the time they came, they were brilliant.
Roland says, I completely disagree with Sicho that Amate should be in the squad at all cost. In ironical terms, it's like saying Ghana is just Accra. That's an interesting.
I don't think I used at all cost anyway, but yeah.
Anyway, guys, let's now over on Wednesday, dramatic game in Budapest at the Puskás Arena. Jose Mourinho's AS Roma, they lost on penalties against Sevilla, the landlords of the Europa League. They've now won 5 of the last 9. That's ridiculous. No, 5 of the last 10 actually. That's ridiculous. But the game wasn't so much of the result. It was what happened after. Of course, as a consequence of what happened in the game itself. Jose Mourinho wasn't exactly pleased. He accosted the referee in the parking lot and called him a disgrace. Later, Anthony Taylor was tracked down by AS Roma fans who were leaving for Italy. At the same time, Taylor was leaving for England. They saw him at the airport and they chased him down, threw a chair at him and almost grabbed him and ripped him apart. News is that he's made it back to England and he's safe now. One person has been arrested. Gary Smith was just whispering something to me.
He says Taylor was with his family when they were
I
all
saw him
attacked.
with his wife, exactly.
Yeah. Wife and daughter.
Wife and daughter. It's unbelievable.
My daughter fine.
Daniel, I have seen people say this is all Jose Mourinho's fault, and that we must deal with these things where managers must take responsibility for their own actions and performances rather than blaming it on the referee, because it looks like to some people Taylor was the easier target, but the real problem, the real reason Roma lost this was Roma. And basically
ago,
Jose Mourinho.
3 weeks ago, on this same show, when Mourinho made the final, in fact, he made the final on a Thursday night. He was sitting in Rome and throwing shots to somebody who was sitting in Manchester. I came on Friday. In fact, it was 2:33 p.m.
That's right.
3 minutes to exactly 3 weeks ago, when I said that Mourinho should go and win his final first before he starts talking plenty. You are playing in a second-tier competition with a second-tier team, and you want to compare yourself to a top-tier team playing in a top-tier competition. You were playing the landlords of the Europa. They ship you in final. I was playing the landlords of the Champions League. I shipped them 4-0. They are levels to this.
We didn't ship them, we destroyed them.
We destroyed them 4. Did you watch the match?
Yes, we all did.
We all watched the match.
Yes.
Why is it that any time Mourinho loses, it is never his fault? It is the sun. It's the pitch. It's his fans who didn't shout loudly enough.
Take like Jogging Club.
Oh, every day is somebody's fault. And he's telling us that the match that we watched on Wednesday was Anthony Taylor's fault.
So let's look at the incident. He says they should have had a penalty.
Master, wasn't a penalty. The rules are clear. Natural position. What? FIFA.
No.
Natural.
I don't work for the referee department, please.
You're close.
When they do the rules, they come in. Natural. Is this one natural? It's not natural.
If you raise your hand,
my hand here. No. Where was
his
the
hands
guy's
were beside his body.
Simple. It's not a penalty. Simple. Unless Mourinho
Didn't an
was,
angle show that he probably kind of like,
you see,
just moved his hand a little bit?
it is about consistency. You
Yes,
understand?
yes,
Earlier this season, there were some 2 penalty calls in the Europa League
yes.
that were given against Man United. If you remember, against Bruno Fernandes and then Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah.
Thank you. They were arguing about those calls. Oh, it was a bad call. It shouldn't have been a penalty. Then they'll show you freeze image. They say we don't like freeze image. But when it
motion
suits you,
picture.
when it suits you, that one you've taken freeze image of the person's hand by his side. So which one is penalty again? They say when the person's arms are by his side, it is not a penalty. Where did you see the guy's hands?
They were not in the air for sure.
Was he on his waist?
No.
Was he
Were
doing
beside his body.
Bambalika? What is that? There was a penalty in the game which was overturned by the same Anthony Taylor, who in Mourinho's words is a disgrace.
Sevilla feel it should have been a
That
penalty
one
for
was
them.
the disgraceful decision. Because that one, there was clear contact. Clear.
Didn't another angle show
Yeah.
that he got the ball first?
He didn't touch the ball. He didn't touch
an
the
angle
ball.
that showed that it was a fake.
Yeah.
Just
He didn't touch the ball. That one is not touching ball. There
So
was
Sevilla
contact.
should
Clear.
also have had a
They should
penalty,
have had a
by
penalty.
Mourinho's standard.
But did you see the Sevilla coach complaining and chasing Mourinho into Anthony Taylor into this thing?
Parking lot.
You go and play this ball. Then they score you in the final. You are blaming. First, he came into the press conference, said he's tired of being the face of the team.
Yeah.
He's tired of being the psychologist. Master, why are you a manager? When we are hearing, when Pep comes into press conferences, Klopp, don't they ask him things about the club? Yeah. Isn't he a representation of the club when he comes to his press conferences? So if you are doing your job and you are telling me that this is what is happening in the club, isn't that your job?
What
Aren't you
about the
supposed to be
retaking penalty?
What about what?
The retaking penalty.
So because of Mourinho, now when a keeper encroaches, we shouldn't collect it again.
They said the encroachment wasn't clear.
Oh, bugger. It was clear. Rui Patricio, he knows that it was clear. We all saw it. It was clear. You see, this one, I'm being very serious. When I saw that boy Montiel coming, do you know PTSD?
That's it.
Do you know PTSD?
Yeah. He scored the winning goal in the
When I saw
World Cup
that
final.
boy Montiel, I said, hook or crook? Asa. It's over.
Obeshe.
Oh.
But he missed
He didn't miss.
the first one.
The keeper cheated. Rui Patricio cheated. And the referee saw it and did his job. The day Anthony Taylor has had a good game, Mourinho is chasing him into parking lot. Waited for him. The Roma bus driver was tired. The guy was heartbroken. He wanted to leave. Mourinho said, stay there. I'm waiting for the referee. What is that? What is that?
You're a disgrace,
Now
man.
see what the fans are doing to
Anthony Taylor, but you see, Chelsea fans don't have sympathy for him.
We don't care.
They have history.
It is not you. You are not in the final. UEFA needs to ban
Your
Mourinho.
opinion doesn't
This
even
guy.
matter.
No, seriously. UEFA needs to take a strong stand. You can't incite fans against a referee like, look at what they are doing. You are
They're
playing
saying
a
they're doing
chair.
that because of Jose.
So what are they doing worse? Who are they doing worse?
Maybe they also saw something different.
Bugger, your manager has shown you the way. He has gone into the parking lot and gone to insult the referee. When the bus driver wanted to leave, the players, Dybala took his phone. He said, share. Then he was taking video. The video we saw was Dybala's phone.
You don't know that.
I know that.
Dybala is a very good video.
The point is, this thing is unacceptable. You don't see, you see, when they say top managers, this is the reason why this thing has been following Mourinho. You can't mind, you are fighting your player. You go to this, you are fighting your player. You are fighting press. You are fighting this. Every day you are fighting this. Master, you have to be an example. Pep Guardiola will not chase a referee into
Okay, Daniel, fair enough.
No, it's true.
No,
You didn't
said-
see
fair
Ferguson
enough.
chasing referee into parking lot.
I want to
They
move
don't
on.
do that.
Yes,
That's-
I want to
that's-
move.
Mourinho must
Citing
be
the fans,
banned.
you know.
No, but
He must be banned and fined. You can't do this. When they do this thing in Ghana Premier League, we call for the managers to be fined. So why didn't you say something?
No, but
How did Daniel made a point? He said Mourinho lost it.
yeah.
They scored very early on. How did they lose it? Because I mean, in the end, it was a draw. But was there a chance where possibly Roma had it in their hands?
I think the worst thing that happened to Roma was the time of the goal. If Roma scored maybe in the second half, the storyline is different. Because before the goal, Roma were the better side. Roma were the better side. In fact, the best chances of the game at the time all fell to Roma. And anytime Paulo Dybala touched the ball, it just felt like something was going to happen. Yeah. But as soon as Dybala got that goal, they stopped playing. From the 35th minutes onwards, Roma stopped playing. It's like, and if you see the way they celebrated the goal, it's almost told the story. They knew that once we have a goal, we are good enough to sit deep and defend. I've monitored Italian media, and some section of the media who were close to the dugouts of Roma said they heard Jose telling the team not to sit deep. Now, that is your job as a manager. If you don't want the team to sit deep, you have to do what it takes to push them further up the pitch. But as soon as Roma got that goal, it was done. They defended. And you have to give credit to Sevilla as well. The two changes they made, bringing in Gil, taking off Gil, and bringing in Lamela and then Suso, also created problems for AS Roma. Because they targeted Spinazzola. They had Suso, Ocampos, and Navas. Three of them. So they started putting in dangerous crosses, and one of them resulted in the goal. Yeah, Jose Mourinho might have his own problem with Anthony Taylor, but I just think it's deflecting the attention from his team's failings. And you see, it's not only about what he did to Anthony Taylor. It's the fact that as a coach, he couldn't even control his dugouts. Yep. So about 3 of his assistants or technical team members were yellow carded. So the Roma dugout was full of chaos. And your players need to hear the clear instructions and the game plan and what they need to do to respond to the challenges they were facing from Sevilla. I thought Wijnaldum came into the game, he was poor, he didn't offer anything. Dybala went off, they missed him and everything. But the thing is, the Jose Mourinho team you have seen in the Europa League final is something that has happened throughout the season. I love the Serie A, so I see it every weekend. Jose Mourinho won't be on the bench for Roma this weekend. Do you know why? He's suspended.
He's going to fight again.
He's had 5 yellow cards as a coach. Yeah. And he's going to miss the last game at home to Spezia. It's a crucial game. He's had 2 red cards, 5 yellow cards in Serie A. So it's not about it's not only about Jose in the Europa League. This season, whenever he's not won or games have not gone in his favor, he's had something to say to the referees. I think too that Anthony Taylor didn't necessarily have a great game. The game management wasn't great, but when it came to the big calls, he was spot on.
Taylor, to be fair to Jose,
yeah,
Anthony Taylor's record in the big games haven't exactly been.
No, I think his game management wasn't great. Yeah, like I said.
I when Daniel was speaking, I mentioned the Chelsea example. I think you all remember. Of course, in the Premier League, Chelsea fans had this crazy idea that Taylor it's
always against them.
He's always against them. The FA Cup game against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Handball. It was him.
It was not a handball.
I think the calls.
Alexis Sanchez.
It was not a handball.
What was it?
For his goal.
When he sent off Kovacic. What was it? Was that a red card?
Wasn't it the second?
That's fine.
In 2013, he sent off Jose Mourinho. He was in charge of Chelsea. Chelsea won the game against Cardiff 4-1, but he sent off Jose Mourinho. And Mourinho was later fined £8,000 for complaining about his officiating. They have a history.
No, if he sent Jose Mourinho off, then he's probably right because Jose Mourinho overdoes it. But like I said, the very downside to this was for Jose to follow him into the lobby, the parking lot, and go and say the things he said. I'm not necessarily going to link it to what the fans did because these are old men who are probably fathers
who think for themselves.
Who were they watched the game we saw. I've always said you can be a football fan and still be reasonable. You can be a football fan and be emotional, but still know that your team lost, you are pained, but your team on the day didn't deserve it more than Sevilla. So I'm not going to say Jose is the reason why those full old grown men went to attack
themselves.
That is on them. It is their irresponsibility and moment of madness, and I hope that they are dealt with. And for Jose as well, if UEFA look into the matter and he has to be punished, I think yes, he has to be punished because that was a bad look on him.
All right, Faisal, quick thoughts on that?
No. I think I agree with what
everyone
has said. It's pretty obvious. And for me, look, you're not only a coach, you're a leader, you're a role model, even for your players, fans who are watching. So you can't do this. And Jose knows better, but I'm sure UEFA will take this on for sure.
Okay, Muftawu, if you have no further comments on that, I would like to switch to this big game this weekend. Man City against Man United. That is as big as it gets. The FA Cup final.
Is it?
It is as big as it gets, doesn't it? Oh. I mean, to be fair, it's a massive game of football. 2 clubs chasing 2 different things, obviously. Tomorrow, of course, they're chasing the same thing at the FA Cup final. Man United may not have had a great season
Who said?
I said may not have
Don't
had
say
a
may.
great season.
United had a great season.
The word is great too. Is that
The word is great. I didn't say
It's
good.
great.
They
Considering what happened last
overachieved.
season.
They overachieved.
Did
yeah,
they?
as of achievement, I think Ten Hag did, but great.
Everybody's overachieving. So they
Somewhere.
overachieved.
Yeah, right, Larry.
Trophy
Uh,
in the final. Super.
They
Moved
have
out.
They have overachieved.
Okay.
It's okay.
Muftawu, you get the first bite on this. Man City against Man United, FA Cup final, everything is on the line. Man United's chance to deny Man City that treble, and for Man City, it really is a date with destiny.
It's a game that comes with multiple motivations. Manchester City would think that this is an opportunity for us to get another trophy and go for the Champions League final and equal the record of Manchester United securing a treble. But there's also Manchester United who will be motivated to be the team that would deny them an opportunity of equaling that treble winning team that they had. So I think that Pep Guardiola would go all out. There will be different motivation for the boys to win. You would recall that their last Premier League game against Brentford, they lost. I don't know. Maybe when you win the league, your motivation changes in terms of you competing for the same product, for the same trophy. But for the FA Cup, I think that they'll go all out. They'll be seeking to win that trophy. I'm not too sure what Manchester United would try and do to stop them from winning it, but it's a derby. And derbies, the motivations are always different. You might have the best of quality, but when you come up against an opponent that is so familiar with what you always do, that opponent is always going to be a threat. So Eric Ten Hag would be out there also seeking to win it, get a double.
He says they're going to war.
Well, it's indeed a war because these are two teams that have got a certain history, a certain rivalry. And when rivals meet, it's always a war. The players will go on the pitch there and give it their all. But if you take a look at their teams, individual quality-wise, Manchester City is up there.
Yeah.
And Manchester United, I'm not sure if we're going to do a combined Manchester United and Manchester City 11.
You don't think any player from there will make it?
It's not true.
Well,
Is it?
Danny doesn't agree, so
But-
yeah.
Of course, it's
Who
not
would
true.
make it? Who would make it? Who?
Of course, it's not true. Look, Shaw will play at left back.
Ahead of
Ahead of Ake or anybody.
Ake, who is
No,
arguably?
no.
Hold on. Who is
No, no,
arguably?
no, no.
As a
Man
centre
City-
back, he's not playing as a left back. City don't have a left back. Don't even go there.
Please, that's your
So
opinion.
what-
That's
but-
your
But
opinion.
here's the thing. Here's a big argument.
Okay,
Who
Faisal.
is a left back?
That's the good question.
Who's the left back?
Yeah.
The traditional.
Traditional left back. A player playing as a defender on the left hand side who's galloping down the line.
That argument has changed. Football has moved past that long time ago.
If Ake comes to United, he's definitely not playing at left.
It's I don't describe that
No,
as
no,
a
but
position.
yeah.
I look at it as a jobs and description.
Okay, but when you are picking the team, you
yeah.
have to pick people to fill spaces. Who are you picking to fill the left hand side?
You pick people to do a job. It doesn't necessarily have to be a space.
Okay, then
The job
then
assigned.
it becomes
So
difficult
no,
to
no,
pick
no. Here's the
best
thing.
11
No,
players.
Basicho,
The
no,
one you
no.
described.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think what Faisal is asking is, you specifically said
Yeah.
that Ake hasn't played at City as a left
Yeah,
back,
he's not a left back.
but he's played at that left hand side.
Yes, of centre back.
Good. Hold on. If you need a player to fill that space on the left hand side,
Yes.
who are you picking?
Look, sure, straight away. I'm picking Rashford ahead of Grealish. And what are you saying? I'm picking Casemiro to partner Rodri. What are you saying? Man United finished in third place. Oh.
It's not Man United finishing third.
What are you guys saying?
This is my point.
Rashford will play ahead
This
of
is my
Grealish.
point. The reason why
Based on
people
this
say
season.
that Man City have the best squad is not because of their players. It's because of what Pep has done to
Coaching.
the players. It's coaching.
Coaching.
Individually. There's not one midfielder. Rodri is not better than Casemiro.
No, I said
But that's the argument I'm trying to make
yeah,
here.
He's not
the way
better
the
than
manager
him.
wants to.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
because of Pep,
Because of Pepino.
there's an argument.
Charlie Pepino, no stop.
Nobody in that centre back, nobody who describes himself as a centre back in
It's
Man City
better
is better
than
than
Varane.
Varane. Nobody.
But what is the description of a centre back? That
is dependent on the coach.
exactly. So that is everything.
That's what I'm saying. Now, no Mali player will
Oh.
be in a combined. Stop.
Alright, what would Man United are usually good with these one-off games. Should City be scared? Because obviously City are going in as favourites.
It's football, yeah.
If City are going to play like they played against Madrid, that game I was very scared. Like, wait to play against Madrid at the Etihad. I was watching the game and I was scared.
He was
like,
popping.
see, City played against Real Madrid, the defending champions, the 14-time winners, as though they were playing an FA Cup game with a League 2 side.
Barnsley.
People are saying, oh, Benzema had an off day. Vinicius, it's a lie. They didn't have an off day. They couldn't even see the ball.
Total domination, yeah.
Like, if City are going to do that thing, there's no team under the sun. But I also find it difficult to imagine that they can replicate that thing. That thing is a one-off. It won't happen again. Pep and City, they will never play that well again. It will not. That was perfection in football to a different level. That night.
Why wouldn't it happen again?
Because I just think the players from City side,
yeah,
everybody was operating at a certain wavelength. It's like they were operating. That performance was better than what that Pep's Barcelona team did in some one-off games. But they did it over a period of time. But that singular performance, the 90 minutes, is actually the best football I've seen any football team play against a team like Real Madrid in the Champions League semis. Yeah. And I find it difficult to think that.
Recency memory.
No! Honestly, it's not.
If you go into the archives of football,
yes,
they've been great games.
No, you see,
he said I've seen.
I'm not saying it's ever. I've not seen a team so perfect.
A problem.
So perfect on one night. Like, listen.
No, that was a perfect.
City were dominating the game in Madrid's half, but they were stopping every single opportunity of Madrid to counter them.
Yeah.
Like
your host.
It was so balanced. I couldn't believe it. And if they are going to replicate, like I said, I don't think they can, because that game was too perfect.
I think they can.
Then United are in trouble.
Exactly.
No, seriously.
I think they can. I
don't think he's going to go with the same players because he has injury problems. He has to think about the Champions League. So Ortega, I think he's starting.
Yeah.
He doesn't provide them with the same security for ball playing as Edison would. So he might change something. In the middle, I think Riyad Mahrez will start. He's been brilliant for them in the FA Cup. So those are the dynamics that might not have City playing the brand of football they played against Real Madrid. I think City are favourites, but United have got something.
But that's why City is so good. Like, player A could go out, B could come in, and there wouldn't be a drop in performance or anything. Different players, different profile.
And City have not had the same momentum post
that game,
the Chelsea game. In fact, post the Real Madrid game.
It's Arsenal's fault
because they've been, changing the team here and there. And I wonder if it's a fact
because they stop being competitive.
But you see, don't underestimate it. Even for a team like Man City and Pep Guardiola, don't underestimate momentum and winning. Yeah. So United have won their last 2 games. It's a feel-good factor. It's momentum. Yeah. City have played.
And City also have divided attention.
They've won one and lost one.
They've won one and lost. They've drawn one against Brighton, and they've lost against Brentford in the last 2 games. So it's a little detail, but maybe momentum-wise, United are there. But we know City have got the quality. I just think City are too good for United.
Daniel.
Man, from a motivation point of view, I feel like Man United needs to look at the game as a chance to win the domestic double. Not a chance to deny Manchester City a possible treble. Because if you look at it that way, you can't match them. The thing that happened at Old Trafford is a one-off. And I feel that one, Ten Hag dug into the deepest realms of tactics and produced, especially that second half performance, the extra midfielder he added. If he's going to repeat that, Pep has found an antidote by now. If he's not, then United are also in trouble because it means they may go with their usual ship. And for me, Charlie Sonway. The thing is, if City will win, they should let's respect ourselves. 2-1. 1-0. Go home. They shouldn't do what they did to Watford or what they did to us.
We beg.
Thank you. That one. Let's just respect ourselves. We are brothers.
Okay. Daniel, thank you very much. Sicho, thank you. I'm going to take a couple of calls and then we wrap it up.
Oh, I wanted to do my
I'll let you do it. 030-221-6541. I promise the listeners I can't fail them. 030-221-6541 and 055-1111-997. Those are the 2 numbers. 030-221-6541 and 055-1111-997. I've got messages here. Anthony Taylor is noted for ruining big games, and I wonder why they keep giving him such games. Chelsea versus Liverpool, and he messes these games up with so many red cards, etc. Joe, minutes, he sent that, and he also says, I think Kudus can be a utility player in the Arsenal team. Maybe he should try Arsenal because of the way they even play. It makes the average player looks elite. Interesting. I've got a caller. What's your name? Oh, okay. He's dropped off. All right, let me get more messages. This one says, remember Jose pulling a referee's assistant's ear in the Spanish La Liga? He's used to doing that kind of thing. All right, I've got another caller. Hello. All right.
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me? All right. So it's somebody's messing with my microphone or my calls. All right. Pardon my take now. So because I could hear one of the callers and another call was making noise. Muftawu Nabila, you said you had pardon my take.
I have
you
pardon
have
my
2
take.
minutes.
2 minutes for pardon my take.
Go.
Okay. So, before I start, let me say a belated happy birthday to the president of the Ghana Football Association, Fentuo. My pardon my take is on him. Recently, he granted an interview and said he has overachieved. That he picked the Ghana Football Association when the football ecosystem had collapsed. So they had to dig deep and bring football back to where we see it now. I have a simple question to ask. Which collapsed football association leaves $1 million in its accounts for you to develop football and bring to where it is now? Before he became the president of the Ghana Football Association, on October 25, 2019, Glo had paid $1 million it owed the Ghana Football Association. Dr. Kofi Amwa, who was the president of the normalization committee, handed the money to him and his executive committee. Kurt says football had collapsed and he has brought it back. That collapsed institution gave you $1 million to start as president of the FA. That collapsed institution, before you took over, FIFA had sent about $700,000 to the Ghana Football Association. That gives you $1.7 million to work with. You say the football ecosystem had collapsed? A collapsed institution with $1.7 million for you to work with? Come on, Mr. Okreku, come again. You have done well. People would credit you for the work you have done. But when you say football collapsed and you have brought it back to where it is, there's no collapsed institution anywhere that has even $1 million in its accounts.
Muftawu Nabila. Bring in some fire. Anyway, all right, Muftawu, thank you. That's your pardon my take. I have my own views, but let me take one caller, then we wrap it up. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, yeah. My boss, how are you? Your name?
Guy. Oh, Adiku, Charlie. Yes.
Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm Papaya from Adenta.
Yes, Papaya, go.
Yeah, Charlie, the United win the arena, we will take home. Charlie, now I understand.
That's it? United are winning?
Yeah, United are winning the game.
All right, thank you, Papaya. All right, that's Papaya with his thoughts there. Unfortunately, we can't pick any more calls, but it's been a pleasure coming your way. Muftawu Nabila, thank you very much. Your pardon my take. Thank you. Sheikh Altani Mubarak Faisal Chibsah.
No, hard guy.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm bringing the money to the Ghana Premier League now.
Yeah, you should.
$1 million, $5 million.
Please don't go there. Don't go there. No.
You should bring the money.
don't get anybody in trouble.
Daniel Koranteng also here with us, and Sitsofe Philip Atsrim, as always, coming through. But guys, a big thank you to J Ram Tees for the lovely t-shirts he provided us, and we're going to take pictures and share them across our socials. It's been
hard, but we had that.
That's right.
Bro,
the country casting no be today.
The country cast no be today.
God, I beg.
Hey, come on.
Accra stay by plans and settings.
Yeah, man.
That's
right.
right.
The guy be
Oh, the guy do
by
what?
packaging.
By packaging and setting.
That's
It's by
right.
packaging and
That's
setting.
right. Anyway, thank you. Another lovely episode of Game Plan. It will be available on YouTube a little later in the day on the Joy News YouTube channel. It would be on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And also, of course, it will be available for you to download and listen back. My name is Fentuo, tahiru Fentuo. Thank you for your time and enjoy